You're watching KJACK Radio. My name is Bradley, and I'm here with...
I'm Campbell from Vacations, all the way from Australia. Lovely to be here.
Shout out, shout out. Yeah, we're just going to ask you some questions today. We're here at Kilby Block Party. It's day 2, Friday, of the 4-day fest. Vacations is playing this evening.
That's right.
Yeah, this evening. We're just going to ask you some questions today. So
Yeah, go for it.
First one's a simple questions. Just, what brings you joy? Just a simple question.
Being alive brings me joy. No, but as almost like morbid as that sounds, I think because we've had a break, as I was saying earlier to you, first time in like 2 years, we've had a 5-month break. So just enjoying the mundane, like being able to go grocery shopping or doing my laundry or like walking around the block. Because I moved to New York recently, which I love. Just little things like that just remind me that it's nice to be here.
It's amazing. You were talking about how you just took a break from your tour, and you played shows out at just like different venues, but now you're playing at a festival. So I wanted to ask you, do you like playing like festival shows or regular shows, and what's like the difference that you see between them?
I like playing our theater, club, like just regular venues, because we do get to make it our own. However, in saying that, we don't have as much festival experience as I would like. And I guess that just comes from like, we're growing and getting bigger as a band and cultivating that fan base. So I am really excited to play today because I know Kilby Court is a really prestigious music festival. The lineup's incredible. I've got a lot of friends here. I'm curious to see how the crowd reacts. That's always a fun one because I feel like when you're playing your own show, you kind of know what you're getting yourself in for, but with a festival, it's a bit more challenging, which I enjoy as a performer too, because you want to be engaged with the medium or the art form. You're like, oh, how can I like win this crowd over?
Yeah.
How can I like, well, what should I say? What should I be doing differently? I just find those little things interesting. It's like you have to approach it differently, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yesterday, a lot of old plans played like Devo, New Order.
Yeah, I saw Devo and New Order, which I loved.
A lot of them were like saying like how they haven't been in Utah in like years, and then it's always just an amazing experience to come back here.
Yeah,
It's amazing. The next question, speaking of like those old bands, Devo and New Order, like if you had a dream collab, who would it be with? If you
Blood Orange.
Blood Orange? Oh.
Dev Hynes. I adore him as an artist.
I adore him
and
too.
I think because he's multifaceted, like he has Blood Orange as his project, but then also his ability as a producer, but then also as a classical composer. He's just very much someone I aspire to be at that level where it's like, I would love to work on Vacations, but then one day be like, oh, okay, here's like a solo project, or here's like all this production. I just find it really fascinating to me. I think he'd be very fun to be in the studio with.
Blood Orange is my favorite artist ever.
Yeah, same.
We went to Grey Whale Records, which is like a little bit off of the freeway over there, and I bought Coastal Grooves, the record from him.
Oh, sick.
The one with Champagne Coast
I
and all
only
those
just
other
got a vinyl set up, so I'm like slowly going into debt, but yeah, I should get some records.
We're a student-run radio station from Flagstaff, Arizona.
By the way.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
Yeah,
true.
We're from Flagstaff. It's Northern Arizona University.
Yep.
So
love Arizona.
I just wanted to ask you about. You have a track called Arizona.
Oh yeah. What about it?
I wanted to ask you like, what was the inspiration behind like the naming the song that? It's just an instrumental.
Because conceptually, when I was working on No Place Like Home, a lot of ideas were based off field recordings that I did on my iPhone. And I specifically remember this one moment where we were driving through Arizona in the desert, and it was just so jaw-droppingly beautiful. And I guess I wanted to soundtrack that moment and have it layered with different recordings, field recordings, I should say, from all of those tours. Yeah. Just to kind of create a memory that you could look back on in an auditory sense, which is a really fun challenge. I really do love that track.
Yeah. Speaking of like tours, like Arizona's awesome. Shout out Arizona.
Shout out Arizona. What's the venue? We played there twice now. There's a pizza shop next to it.
Van Buren.
Van Buren. I love that venue. That has the best green room.
Matt, what's the the pizza shop next to the Van Buren?
Ziggy's. Ziggy's. That place rocks.
We
love Ziggy's.
We do so many shows there. We dream of going into the green room there. We've seen like the TikToks.
It's so good. It's so good. Every green room should be like that.
Yeah, I saw the beer on tap they have there is like from Flagstaff.
Yeah, they have cold brew on tap as well. They just have everything like ready to go. It's and they have like all those books and like records. It's just so so nice.
We dream. What's your go-to snack on tour? Since we're talking about tour, just a fun question.
Oh my god, go-to snack.
Especially in like different countries, is it different when you like go to like other places?
It is. I haven't been on tour in a hot minute, so I don't have a current rotation of snacks. I remember on the first tour, I almost got like addicted to the Starbucks Frappuccino that you could get at gas
Ooh,
stations.
yeah.
I'm really glad I don't drink that anymore.
The cupped ones or like the
They're
Starbucks?
like glass bottled ones.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, they're so bad. And then there was another period where like I was basically living off those protein cookies. They come in like the white packet.
The one with like the two ladies on the front.
Yeah. The two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are so bad. I genuinely can't eat those anymore
Yeah.
because it makes me think of tour. Like I
Yeah.
can't.
They just taste like powder when you eat them too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because you don't want to. Because we'd be doing like 6-week tours, so I don't really want to be snacking. I want to
Yeah.
try and stay alive and be somewhat healthy.
Physically active.
But even then, it's just it's impossible.
All right. I wanted to go into your recording process. Ask you some questions about how you record.
These are my favorite questions.
Really? Yeah. We have a lot of local bands and local artists trying to start up bands and Flagstaff, and
Hell yeah.
we'd just like to go into your recording process and how has it changed over the years? Because we know, like, I know
It's changed a lot.
Yeah. 'Cause how did you start off with it? Like,
Well, yeah, I'd probably be best to go back in time to like when I initially started. But honestly, when I was like 15, 16, I just bought a 2-channel interface. It was like a white Steinberg unit. They don't make it anymore. But I had that. It came with a copy of Cubase, and that was enough for me to just start recording.
Was that recording into your computer, or were you recording?
Yeah,
into,
just
like,
recording. Yeah, just like
tape or
straight DI. Just started like that and just layering, and then eventually I transitioned into GarageBand, which then led me to Logic. And like the setup slowly expanded over time, but I just spent whatever money I earned from my hospitality jobs, buying like cheap microphones from like Rode or Behringer, slowly expanding the interface, and just recording as much as I could at home. But to be granted, I had no idea what I was doing, which is kind of the beauty
Yeah.
of it, because I only
There's
feel
always
like in the
little quirks
past
from
like
that.
2 years I've actually learned how to record and mix properly.
You mixed
but I've been
your
doing this
last album, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, with one of my really good friends. I learned so much from that album. And like Nate and I mixed the first album changes because there just strictly wasn't a budget. We didn't have a record label. We were very much DIY. We were like, let's just do this ourselves, which clearly worked out. I'm amazed that it did, because at the time I was like, oh, this feels a little bit embarrassing. Like this could be more hi-fi.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess over the years, aged to like a fine wine. It has its own charm to
does.
it. And it's
It
kind of
definitely
nice
does.
looking back and going, oh, you can literally hear the evolution of the band.
Exactly.
Like in terms of fidelity, but then songwriting and everything else,
Yeah.
which I think is quite beautiful.
Yeah, that's how it is for like a lot of like artists who like started like recording in like the 2010s with like their own software and their own stuff, and then they just like grew in popularity, and that's like
Yeah,
always
I feel
reveled in your
like
band with
I guess any advice is just you can do so much these days, especially in the last like 5 years or so. The amount of plugins and especially how powerful software like Logic is now, you can do so much with so little, and I would just keep trying and have that trial and error, and don't be afraid to sort of fail, or also like don't be afraid to release music. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Because I miss SoundCloud days where I'd just be like, oh, I finished a song, I'm just going to upload it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that exposure is also really good.
Do you think like the more songs you upload, the better, or do you think there's like a craft in like crafting your best songs and then like making them like like a release, or do you think they should just like put whatever they can out?
I'm not too sure. It changes over time. I think where I am in life right now, I want to spend a lot of time on like a particular set of songs. I'm not really a songwriter that has like a vault
Yeah.
or anything. The only release that was ever close to that was Vibes, where I had like 30 or 40 different songs.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that totally could have been an album. They were really good, but at the time I just didn't think much of it,
Yeah.
which is some fun lore. I don't know though. I early days I was like frantically releasing. I felt like I had to release music. I put a lot of pressure on myself to release music. Whereas now these days I feel a lot more calm and level-headed. I'm like, I'm just gonna take my time. There's no point to rush. We're in a very blessed position because we have a really dedicated fan base, and like there isn't really any external pressure from like management or a record label. Whereas maybe in the past there was. Or like this anticipation that we had to have something to keep fans engaged. But I feel like we're in a really comfortable position right now.
Yeah.
So.
I wanted to ask you, like coming towards the end of the interview, I wanted to ask you about our about your songwriting process. I know
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I've seen I've seen like interviews where you say that like when you write like sadder songs about like heartbreak and stuff, you don't want the fans to like interviewers to ask you about the heartbreak. You want like the fans to like interpret it themselves.
Well, yeah, that's funny. I used to write quite ambiguously because I wanted that real worldwide relatability. I wanted to, which I guess is kind of funny because it almost makes it sound like I'm trying to be as like palatable, almost vanilla as possible. But again, I think that worked. It's interesting writing songs and then people interpreting it in such different ways. But I feel like as I've developed my craft over the years, especially on like No Place Like Home, I'm getting incredibly specific on certain details like Midwest because I just wanted to start writing in that style. I got over the sort of flowery kind of language I was using before in the past. But in terms of songwriting process, I have no idea. I think if there was a set logical process, I would not be a songwriter because that would take all the joy out of it because I don't want to really know what I'm doing. Like, sure, there are loose guidelines to follow, but it's never like, oh, I always start on the guitar at 9 a.m. and I come up with 3 chords. It's never like that finessed.
Yeah.
It should, I feel like songwriting or like any artistic process should be very messy and chaotic and it should be emotional. And if it's that, then it's going to feel really good.
Yeah, that's amazing. But we're at the end of the interview. But is there anything you'd like to leave with like the viewers, the people aspiring to be artists? Anything else you'd like to say?
I just hope you have a lovely day.
Amazing.
Never give up.
Never give up. All right. Thank you for sitting down with us. Thank you for talking to us here.
Thanks for having me. I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're watching KJACK Radio.
Okay. Bye now.
Have a nice day.